Hi friends! Look what I have. If you're a Ghibli fan, you know who this is. This is the Barren figurine from Whisper of the Heart. I have Louise! So I'm not spoiling the movie, but in the movie these figurines were lost because the guy had to go to war. So these figurines were never able to be reunited. But they're reunited now, and I want to make them married. So the goal is to paint them white, give her like a bouquet. Well, she's already on a bouquet. Give her a veil. When they're sitting, they're never able to like be flush like they are in the movie. Their stands get in the way, but their stands... Do any of you have the texture thing? When your nail rubs against paper in a weird way, rubbed against the sticker. The stand is actually a music box. This is a big song in the movie. I have to wait till this is done now. No. No. I know, honey. Oh, Pinto, how'd you know? I feel like I'm holding an Oscar. Like, thank you, thank you. I'm super inspired by all the other figurine doll transformation accounts on YouTube, so I'm gonna try and let's get started.
So to start off, they're gorgeous, right? But I really want them to be married. So I really don't like this green khaki color that the Barren has. I don't like his purple ears, the green vest. All of this has got to go, and we're gonna make it more pastel, and I want to put it on my wedding shrine in our house with me and my hubbies. And then Louise is beautiful. Oh, there's my cat Pinto, the star of the show, clearly. No, but Louise, I really wanted to get rid of her hat. The bright red was just really loud, and she was really mounted onto the stand, so I was kind of really nervous about that. But she's just really, really beautiful, but the hat was hiding a lot of her face. So I try to start taking them apart with what I can. So I use a screwdriver to try to take the screws and the music box out, but the music box was still in there. So we take it outside to take it apart. I have a handsaw, a hammer, protection gloves to protect you from getting cut, and it was time to get down and dirty. We need to take the music box out and cut it apart, so I am just sawing it. I assumed it was plastic or like resin, but it was full on glass. I spent a really long time breaking it apart. I felt so bad. It was so loud. But I started to take the glass away and the plastic away, and there's the music box. And I am just hammering away. And Louise's head fell off. I didn't know what to do here. I was like, is this normal? But everything was fine. I had a lot of glass sweeping to do after this, but Louise was finally free. She lost a few edges at the bottom of her dress, but don't worry, that was okay. We're going to fill it with paint later. And then it was time to move on to the Barren. So instead of trying to get the top part of the hexagon off like I was trying to do with Louise, I was like, okay, let me just take the whole thing off and try to get it right off of his feet. And with lots and lots of sawing, hammering, and time editing, and Barren losing a few body parts, but don't worry, we'll glue back on later. And the Barren was finally free, but his feet were still stuck, so I had to pull that out. But we finally got him free. His shoes were made out of metal, and everything else was like this resin material. Very interesting. Don't worry, we will get him back together. Also, most of all the songs in the background of this video are the main instrument is violin, because the violin is a very important part of the movie, so please enjoy that. Please appreciate that. Here you can see all the parts that have broken off of the Barren, but don't worry, it actually makes it easier for me to kind of reach around it to paint around it, because I will be repainting him basically everywhere head to toe. And then this is Louise. I'm so glad we got the base off. We have the glass that I'm trying to figure out how to make it safe, and there's her beautiful little head. So here's all the parts, and I thought we can go ahead and get started with Louise. So I'm just gonna quickly pull off this ugly, I'm so sorry, but ugly purple hat from her head. And who knew she had a mohawk under that hat? Look how cute she looks. We're gonna have to find out a way to hide that later, but her ears are so much more emphasized now. And then I had these gold bottles from when my husband was cooking downstairs. I kid you not. He was like, what are you doing? I'm gonna cook those later. I was like, can I have the lids? And he was like, okay. And I thought they would be perfect stands to use for the Barren. It was the exact same height to hide the metal pole sticking out, and it was just also high enough to kind of tuck the glass away. And so I'm brainstorming ways to do that. Oh, there's my face in the reflection. I'm like, ee! And then these are the various types of glue we're going to be using throughout this project. So first things first, I want to glue the feet back onto the Barren. And the most seamless way, I believe, was super glue, because it wouldn't be, it's very thin yet strong, while hot glue would kind of like ooze out and be all spider webby and thick. So super glue worked great. And then I wanted to put his feet into the cap, so I just kind of mark where I need to stab a hole with my screwdriver, and he went in. Ah! Ah ha ha! Ah! As you can tell, I was really happy that I got it in, but it was a little off center, which ended up working because he ended up leaning more towards Louise this way. Then I wanted to work on Louise's stand, so I filled all of that sharp glass edges with hot glue and just did it all the way around. Next, we're going to prime or paint a Louise white for her bridal dress. I'm just using golden titanium white, and I'm painting the hot glue, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just paint her whole thing at this point. So I work on my first coat, and it was really hard to get under all the layers and behind the bouquet, but I did it. I think I did around 3 layers of white before even doing a pink layer, which you'll see later. And now we're going to start painting the Barren. So again, I really didn't like the green khaki color he had, and just all of his colors were a little bit off other than his fur. So this is the beige that I went with for his tux. I thought it would be just a lot more welcoming and warm, and a lot more within my color palette and match the rest of my home. So I'm doing that tan color on his hat and the piece that broke off. And then for the inside part of his tux suit part, I don't know what it's called, I did a lighter tan of that, and then I started super gluing all the pieces back together, and he was looking shiny. He was looking good. This is my first time using golden paints, and I could really see a difference. It was smooth, not chunky, and I just felt like the finish was really beautiful. And Louise was all dry at this point and looking fabulous. I know she blends in a lot with the background, but I loved the light colors that she had in her ears, and I really wanted the Barren to have that same pink instead of purple. So I'm doing another layer of that tan for his inner tux, and then priming white inside of his ears. And while that's drying, I wanted to work on his shoes. I know this is all over the place, but you're with me, right? You're with me? Okay, good. So I just give his shoes a little bit more of a makeover. They look good as new. And then my husband and I got married. He wore a blue suit, so I kind of wanted to honor that blue a little bit with the Barren. So I did like a warm, dark turquoise for the Barren's tie, and eventually I want to match it on his hat. But before I do that, I do another layer of tan, and because I want it to fit in the color scheme, I painted the Barren's cane a very similar brown to his shoes, so everything would match, and I just think it's again a warmer color. And then it was time to work on his ears, so I did a peachy light pink to match Louise, and I feel like it made the Barren so cute. Look at his bright pink ears. And then I made his nose less red by making it pink as well. If you haven't caught on, pink's my favorite color. And so is white and gold. So speaking of gold, I'm going to now repaint the details of the Barren's buttons, which I believe were already originally gold, but I'm going over it obviously because I painted over it. So I'm just using the back of a paintbrush and dotting on the gold buttons. Look how stinking cute. And I did the buttons on the back of his suit as well. If I show that, will I show that? There I go. I show it, I show you. I'm very tired from editing this video, which is why I say I show you, show me, show me. Anyway, so the paint job of the top of Barren is done. I do think his whiskers are quite long and we need to tame that, but I'm focusing on paint right now, and him and Louise have the matching pink ears, which I think just looks so cute. Also, look at her pink liner. I need to do that look sometime. And then I do the same blue turquoise on his hat. And because I'm crazy, I'm going to be painting the bottom of the Barren's cane gold as well. So everything is within my white peach gold color scheme. I know I'm crazy, but look how nice that looks. I never know when to end projects, but anyway, I thought Louise just looked too stark white, so this is where I decided to kind of add a little bit more of a peachy to the top of her dress. But overall, she is looking beautiful, but now it's time to pizzazz her. We don't want her to look basic. We want her to look like she's glowing. You can see her from outer space. You get it. So I'm trying to come up with a gentle peach color, but still make her dress feel like a wedding dress, so like an undertone of pink. I even add some gold in there so it sparkles, and I was like, oh my gosh, Meg, that's too dark, and I do a thin wash of it, and I felt like that added a little bit more of that value and contrast that we needed, and it honors the bright red dress that she came in. Then I started gluing the Barren's hand back. He's just slowly gaining back limbs and his clothing back. You're welcome, Barren. There's his hat, and now it's time to give the Barren a haircut. Yep, we're gonna snip those whiskers off, and my art teacher always told me you can always cut more later, so I'm slowly getting shorter and shorter and shorter until he had very small whiskers left over. But I think he looked really handsome. Don't you? Please don't come for me in the comments. And next it was time for the florals. So I ordered a few different types of fake flowers from Amazon. These were actually dried out daisies that were just too delicate. I had a paper one and then a plastic based one. I really thought I was going to do the roses because roses are more traditional when it comes to wedding, but it was just too big on him. So I thought I would cut it up to make it smaller so it could fit on his vest, but then it slowly looked like toilet paper. So I tried wrapping it with small ribbon to make it look more official. Still looked like toilet paper or a shriveled up Q-tip. So we ended up trying the plastic one, and I thought that looked really cute, but it looked like plastic. So I was like, okay, let me paint these white so it looks a little bit more official. And I actually love the way that it came out. I think it looks beautiful. I actually made a few of them, and then I thought I would focus on working on making a boutonniere. So I would just hot glue some really thin, beautiful white ribbon around, and slowly we're getting our boutonniere. Look how cute that is. Oh, I just want to take the Barren to prom. It's so cute. And because the groom's boutonniere flowers usually match a little bit of the bride's bouquet, I stuck some of those flowers in Louise's bouquet, and I was obsessed. I just could not stop stuffing them in there. It was looking a little bit white, so I was thinking about painting them. But before I do that, I really wanted to hide Louise's mohawk going on. So we're going to start working on her veil. So I had this beautiful mesh fabric that I thought I could cut into her veil, but I didn't want it to be boring, and I really wanted to incorporate lace somehow. I actually ended up ordering an old Barbie dress from eBay that came with some accessories that had shoes, a Barbie necklace, and a tiara. And I thought I could use a tiara, but I actually really loved the necklace for Barbie instead. And it fit just by the grace of God perfectly around Louise's mohawk. I even Amazon ordered this pack of tiaras for Barbies, thinking I could cut one up to make it like a mini tiara in front of her veil. Oh yes, I also broke the Barren's hat. Don't worry, quick fixie. No, it's totally fine. I then quickly mixed up a paint that was the same color as Louise's fur because it was still noticeable through the mesh, and I quickly paint that over. I really want Louise's tiara to be gold, shocker, so I'm priming that white. And then I go ahead and start painting the flowers in Louise's bouquet. I actually worked them off of the peonies from my bouquet and the color palette from there. So this piece quickly became very personal to me, and I was just obsessed with adding a little bit of details, the pollen, to these tiny little plastic flowers. I go ahead and paint the tiara, or I guess the old necklace, gold with the golden acrylic brand paint. Okay, anyway, I get these tiny leaves from this little flower kit and I paint them green so I can incorporate them part of Barren's boutonniere. So I just kind of do a dark green similar to Louise's bouquet. And while I had that green, I thought I would do the touch-ups in Louise's bouquet because yes, I make mistakes, people. Okay, I got a lot of white in there. So I just paint that over and then I pluck the flowers. And I'm going to get them ready to go in Louise's bouquet, but you can kind of see the stem. So with that same green, I'm kind of going to do the base of the flower so they blend in really well with the bouquet. And then her tiara was dried. Look how beautiful that looks. You'll see it on during the reveal. The leaves we had just painted were also dried, so I stuck them to the sides of the flower for the Barren's boutonniere, and I think it just really matched Louise's bouquet really well. And this was Louise's finished bouquet. I added some pale flowers, some darker flowers, some more yellow, and I think it looked stunning. I know we're kind of flip-flopping back and forth, but I'm kind of working through what's drying and what I'm working on while it's drying, and then it's dried, and then I glue it. So I glued on the Barren's boutonniere, and I thought it just really brought it together by adding the leaves. I am emotionally attached to these flowers, so I thought to give Louise a flower crown. You cannot tell me she doesn't look perfect with a flower crown, but then I had to make it a lighter green so it would just blend in more with her veil. So I do that. And then this is the Barbie wedding dress that I told you I ordered off eBay, and I really liked the lace at the bottom. So instead of just plain mesh, I thought I would cut out like a wave section out of it. So I carefully cut that out. I trim it down, and you'll have to see what she looks like with it on later. But I really wanted to bring back the jewelry that she had and give it like that pearlescent shine back. So I have these nail or eyeshadow pigments from forever ago when I used to try to be a makeup YouTuber. So I'm just using this Liquitex liquid varnish to kind of make it more of a paint with the pigment, and it just kind of adds this like pearlescent but like holographic beautiful shell like shine to it, and I thought it really like emphasized her décolleté and made it look more regal. And there we are playing around with her veil. I'm just being super fancy and hot gluing it on her mohawk. So instead of it having to cover her face like in the original, I did think it looked more beautiful tucked back so you can really emphasize on her eyes. And so I'm just playing around with how to hot glue the flowers. And I kind of debated having the front of the tiara or necklace like in the front, but I thought it looked way better in the back. I really hope you guys agree with me. That looks good in the back in the comments. But that was her veil. And so I'm going to glue the flowers on, and I'm just going to be using E6000 glue to do that. And it just kind of burns my finger, and it kind of burns my eye and my skin. I feel like this is definitely toxic for you, but is there a glue that's not toxic for you? Anyway, I have ADHD, so I'm just going to use a hot glue gun, and I'm just doing a light flower in the middle and then a few darker ones on the outside, so it kind of frames her face really well and it hides where the necklace is broken. And look at that. We're going to glue an oval mesh piece on top because you can kind of see the hot glue stain. And then to hide the glass hot glue, we're just going to wrap ribbon around it so it looks like it's part of the dress, it looks official, and I even debated wrapping mesh around that to kind of look like it's an underlayer, but you know what I mean. And then I want to work on the caps that they're going to go on because you can see the expiration date of them. Not cool. So we're just going to use some rubbing alcohol to take off the expiration dates, which didn't really do as much as I wanted to. And originally I'd always planned on doing the cap upside down, but I was like, you know what, wait, no, let's do it upright and have them match like that. So I'm just using golden paint. I need to stop with that. And because I never know when to stop, I take my tiny white Posca pen and add tiny little dots and lace patterns on the dress just for some more detail, so it wasn't just one solid color. And I promise you can see it more in real life, more in the final shots, you'll see it more. And now both figurines are ready to be glued down to their bases. The Barren was done. He was looking beautiful. Those are his final whiskers. And these are how the caps dried down. I think the gold finish looks really beautiful on them. You can still kind of tell that they're caps, but this is the best use of reuse, reduce, and recycle. And I'm just going to do a whole wide mix of glue so it is there for a long time, friends. Okay, this is not going to fall apart. So I'm mixing tacky glue, E6000 glue, and I'm just holding Louise down. Louise is really heavy, so I'm just going to put that down to the side, but the Barren flops over. So we need to fill the entire cap with a lot of glue. So I'm going to puncture him into the cap. And I'm just going to fill the cap with glue, like so much glue. And I'm going to stick the Barren in there, and while that dries, I'm going to put tacky glue under his shoe so he's really stuck to the base. And then when the E6000 glues, I'm just going to fill it with so much hot glue. I feel like one of those like 5-minute craft, DIY craft hot glue nifty videos. So I'm just caking it on. That wasn't enough. Nope, we're gonna add more. And the base got so physically hot because it's metal, but it's kind of really satisfying watching it like level out as it glued down. And they were done, and this is the grand reveal. This is them side by side. They look so beautiful. I probably shouldn't have done a white background so you can see a little bit more of Louise's detail, but that's okay. Let's talk about the Barren first. This is his final beauty shot. Gorgeous model king. I truly love the way that he came out. I hope that you guys love the way that he came out and you guys got to see Barren have a happy ending after Whisper of the Heart and the Cat Returns. Like, he got to be with his lady, he got to be married and have a happily ever after and have some kittens, hopefully, that fight and fly in the sky too. And Louise, oh, you guys, I try to have some more of a golden hour lighting on her. Do you see her? Titanic moment. Look at her. She's beautiful. I'm just obsessed with her. They're on display now on our wedding shrine dresser, which you'll see after these beauty shots, and I'll just like put my head on this dresser and just like watch them, and they're so beautiful. She's so perfect. They used to be kind of creep out my husband a little bit on the dresser before when he'd get ready for work, and now we are just so in love with how these figures came out. Especially me. I can't speak for him, but I love them. I just admire them all the time, and I truly hope that you love them. I love how they can go close up against each other now and basically almost touch, and I'll let you guys enjoy some of these beauty shots without me talking, and then I'll show you guys how they look on the wedding shrine. And that was them. Thank you so much, friends, for watching. I love you guys so much. Please make sure that you subscribe, and if you want to check out my other videos, I just did Tangled Rapunzel's Tower. That took me months to do, and yeah, it just feels really good to be creating art again, and thank you so much for supporting me on this journey. Please like, that helps me out a lot, and I love you. Bye, friends! Excuse me, there is a bug. Sir? Look at that bug. Look at him. Excuse me, sir. Fine, fly on the wall, paparazzi. Okay. I'm just gonna let him be. Okay. She is so pretty. And oh yeah, there's another bug.